Hey guys, so we're continuing the slow restoration and maintenance, whatever you want to call it, of this big building back here that I'm friends with the owner of. So today what we're going to be working on is painting, and the job got a little more complicated as well because I found poison ivy, and it's even growing up down here too. Look at that, poison ivy. Eastern poison ivy. Well, today's a nice warm day, so I'm gonna want to take this off just to paint it. But we have several things we need to do with this. First of all, I want to get it out, and that'll give me more room to kill this poison ivy that's just, like, is it coming in the front? I don't know. But then also, I'm gonna watch out for this. This broke away from the building. And if you look inside of here, you can see that bolt. That bolt actually snapped off of the casting. So that bolt must have been a faulty one and cracked. If I can just get this heat wire out, then I can remove this and we can get this painted today while I deal with the poison ivy. It's a beautiful building. Alright, so I've uncovered that this goes to a PVC pipe which goes to the drain. We have a rubber gasket, or what fitting of whatever we call that, going to the cast iron piece that's lead welded or whatever socketed onto here. I've undone this, and now let's see if I can get this out. I suspect it might be a tight fit though. It's looser on the PVC pipe, so I ended that then. Well, no wonder it didn't want to come off of this end. It's down most of that rubber tube. And it's so very large too, so that, yeah, I'm not even going to bother removing that, to be honest. You can tell it's had quite a few layers of paint on it. Somebody tagged it. I don't know what these feed-off lines were for. It's hard to say. That's the spot where that bolt snapped off. See, I'd like to get this done today, in one day, because it's nice and warm, and the paint's going to cure very well before it rains. Well, we'll see what we get up to. Honestly, I'm just stalling, waiting for the shadow of the big building I'm restoring, or helping to restore and maintain, grow a bit, because it's just too hot in the sun for this. I forgot it was going to require so much cleaning up. This is going to be most of the work, unfortunately. I decided to work a little bit off camera while the camera charged, and I really like how this looks. Looks a lot better than I think it's like 9 or maybe 11 layers of paint that was on here. There's a lot of paint. And then a lot of this thick black stuff, so I believe a lot of the first layers were just black. These look like they might be newer. They might still have zinc on them. Haven't done this section yet. But then I did a little bit over here. I think I'm gonna throw some black paint onto this piece, but I suspect it'll rust up. Obviously, this kind of cast iron can withstand oxidation pretty well. And then I'll turn it over and we'll work on this side. Man, my grinder is getting hot. That looks pretty good. I don't necessarily need to take off everything, but I would just like to get it down to the primary layer so it looks similar to whenever it was new. But a lot of this black paint that's still on there, I don't necessarily need to remove it because it is obviously protecting it. I'll just get it down to that black paint, or whatever comes easiest now. You know, it's funny, a lot of people will praise old things as being high quality, but when you look at this, you see there's a lot of little blemishes and stuff that the workers left in. Now granted, it was built down to a price, but that's the thing, they're always built down to a price. And so what I'm gonna do is I've switched away from my wire wheel, which my wire wheel is maybe not gonna wire a bit much more, but I have a 36 grit flap disc on there, and I'm going to clean up stuff like this, stuff that you would notice, and maybe get rid of this lip a little bit. Let me see if I'm going to be dealing with this. I just took them down a little bit, that way they're flatter. Oh wow, that's actually a lot smaller than I thought. That's a 1/4-inch bolt. That is actually surprisingly small. No wonder it broke. Okay guys, so I've taken time to decide that instead of wasting time doing JB weld, I'm actually going to try to weld this without heating it up first. Because normally whenever you weld cast iron, you heat up the metal to like 300 or 400 degrees Fahrenheit first. And with this, I feel like, well, I'm now kind of the permanent maintenance person of these 3 buildings. And so I'm always here now, and I'm going to be here for years, hopefully. So I don't have to expect this to work forever. If these welds crack, well, I can always JB weld it in the future. So I have a little bit of freedom with this. I plan to check in on this maybe every 5 years or so and keep it up for the next 40 years or however long I live. And so I'm deciding that I've actually had some pretty good luck welding cast iron. And with something like this, I believe that this bottom plate is mild steel anyway. So I'm gonna weld a few beads along here because I worry about this crack continuing, and I'm gonna lay a really big bead right here. This side looks perfectly fine, and this side looks like it could use a little bit more work too, but I'm just gonna do a few structural ones. I don't think too much water leaks out of it. Are they nice welds? Not exactly, but they are good points where these 2 pieces will stay together, hopefully a lot more. And now, the earlier you go in my welds, the worse they get. Like these ones are mostly just garbage, but oh well. I just want to make sure that they don't fall apart, you know? Now to see if a lot of this dust can be removed. Well, it's not doing a great job. Actually, a rag will probably work because my finger brushed off quite a bit. Yeah, look at that. Okay, well, it was worth a shot. I hope you guys would forgive me for being a little bit creative. Well, the reason why I decided to go with the black paint is because I think the black paint dries a little bit thicker, and that would be good on the very bottom. And then we have this back section which wasn't originally painted, it seems, and I'll paint that. Well, I don't feel like getting another brush out, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my junky black brush, and I can just paint it onto here to clean it off. Look at that. Oh gosh, it keeps coming out. Oh, it's actually cupped in there. That's why. So I'm gonna paint the bottom with the black brush, and then I'll switch to the brown paint and I'll paint the back. And by the time I'm done painting the back, the brush will have mostly cleaned out the black ink from it, and then I can switch and do the other 3 sides. And that way I can just use one brush, and I don't have to get out another brush for this. I'm gonna start off by painting this section Now, I wasn't able to really clean it up too much, and to be honest, this pipe's doing fairly okay. It does look like there's a crack running down the back of it though, which is a bit unfortunate. But I kind of feel like the black paint might work better for something touching the ground. And plus the two-toneness of it would look kind of cool. So I'm just gonna throw some of this on, especially because this paint's about 3 years old now, and I use it a lot. I do use it a lot, but I think I'd like to use it up. Oh yeah. Laying the paint can on its side tilted a little bit helped all the paint drip off the lid, so the lid isn't a huge mess. That's pretty good. It's such a dark color. You know what? I need more help with this. I'm gonna start putting some on this just to get rid of it. Oh, that looks so weird having brown. Just as I was about to paint the rest of it, I realized that my camera stopped recording because it was out of space. Because I like to have duplicate video files whenever I am editing my video, but I just have too many projects going on that it takes so much time that now it's more space than I can have on here. So I just put it on my backup drive. So suffice to say, it went pretty easily. I just slathered a bunch of paint on. And looking at it now, I'd already decided it last night, but I'm going to do a second coat. I think it's deserving of that. And I'll take away some of this bark that's stuck onto it. Well, this paint's definitely hard. Well, that fills me with confidence. Now for the paint switch over. I'm going to start by slathering all this black paint onto here. Because the more paint on the back, the better. I doubt anybody's going to be painting this anytime soon. Especially once I bolt it onto the building. So it's always good to throw some on there. If it has issues, I'll just slather it on more. Now let's see if I can do a bit of detail work. If I had a better brush, maybe. So it's the next day, and thankfully it was so warm yesterday. It wasn't hot, which is good, but it was warm, and I put the paint on there whenever it was quite hot to the touch, because it was in the sun, that this paint is pretty well cured. It'll be better cured in a week, but it's gonna rain tonight, so I'd rather put this back in because it has a job to do. And I was wondering if you could hold the camera for me. Thanks, guys. use my apron as a pad to keep it.
Should I grab the screwdriver?
Yeah, you can grab the screwdriver. I'll take the camera. So guys, yesterday I went through and I got rid of the poison ivy here, moved it over to there, and so this is all pretty much clean. I'm still gonna count it as dirty, but at least I can work in this area. But there's not that poison ivy hanging down here. Gosh, this is freaking noisy over here. Anyway, it is so loud.
I know.
I hate Baltimore Pike or whatever it's called. Close if you want, but that's gonna be the closer stuff. Oh, and I can take the screwdriver too. That's gonna be the big flip. So now I want to lift it up because I'm going to have to repair this mounting mechanism, but the bolt is in here. So you have to put this on and then you put this on, but this is on. And in order to remove this, you have to remove from the very top of the building, but you can pan up if you want. So you would have to remove this entire thing in order to do it the same way that this was originally done. So I might have to come up with a different mechanism. And since it's going to shut up! Shut the fuck up! Yo, chill, man! God fucking damn it! Shut up! Fucking hell. Anyway, jeez. These fucking cunts out here. Philadelphia, American City. I can lift this up a little bit with this, and then I'm gonna use the railroad technique of how they would raise up and level railroad ties or railroad sleepers. I use a maul to hit gravel underneath it. And so we have this 2x4 that I'm gonna pound in there to push dirt underneath it. And then I figure I should be able to do this pretty easily. I'll guide this up to here with this 2x4. Like that. So when I let this down, it shouldn't, yeah, look at that. It didn't go down very much because I packed it in underneath it. So at the very least, that's a little bit better. But this is still, I'm probably gonna have to actually move that drainage line, that PVC pipe. Got to move it up in order to actually reach that. So it was kind of put together wrong whenever the building was restored in the 1980s. But oh well, you turn it off. You can be close up if you want. Okay, so I can do a little bit more, I think. You can zoom out if you want to see this funny situation I'm in. Okay, so we've now secured that. Well, that's a little bit better. It's about that much lower now instead of before it would just fall over. It needs to go up a little higher, but I can face that later on. But now it's kind of secure, you know? This should be good.